Terawan Sarnai, and we will now begin the discussion regarding the main topic that we have chosen actually for this retreat, which is called, it's in Pali, it's called Sabba Papassa Akaranam. Sabba Papassa Akaranam. Okay? What it means is, Sabba means all, everything, every, that's what it means. And Papassa means wrongdoings, all ill treatments, all vengeance, everything, you name it, all wrongdoings. So Sabba means everything, all wrongdoings. Sabba Papassa means all wrongdoings. Akaranam means eradication. So eradication of all wrongdoings is the word. Sabba Papassa Akaranam. Actually, there are 4 lines in this gatha. First line is Sabba Papassa Akaranam. Then it goes Kusalassa Upasampada, Sachitta Pariyodapanam, Etan Buddhana Sasanam. Those are the 4 lines. What is important in this Pali Gatha or verse or quote is that, believe it or not, all the 28 Lord Buddhas preached on this topic, this same Gatha. They took this same Gatha, and all the 28 Lord Buddhas actually said things regarding it, said things, and they showed a lot of importance for this Gatha. Today we will try to find out why this was so specified and what it can bring to our life, actually. That's the main point. So we'll take verse by verse, actually line by line, and try to go through this. In our first session, I will only do the first line. In our second session, from 11 to 12, we will do the second line only, because there's a lot to learn from it and understand from it. If we do all 4 lines together, it might be a little bit too much. So we'll go slowly, baby steps, okay? So this first one, eradication of all wrongdoings. When we say wrongdoings and eradication of all wrongdoings, first we need to, before we get rid of, eradication means get rid of, to lay away, keep away, let go of all wrongdoings. Before we try to let go, yes?
Is it the past wrongdoings or coming wrongdoings, let go of doing the wrong thing?
If
or
we,
also about the past things?
Past things, you realize from the past things in the present, so that you don't go and do that in the future. Okay, so it actually bases on all 3 levels, past, present and future. But in order to eradicate something, let go of something, or not do something, first we need to find out how we get into this problem in the first place. How do we actually do things in the wrong way? First we need to see that. Because only if we see how we get into this trouble, or how we actually start doing the wrong things, is the only thing which will give us clarity on how not to do the wrong things. So first we will find out what are the wrong things that we are actually doing by knowing, and what are the wrong intentions that we have subconsciously, and without knowing we get into trouble sometimes. So we'll try to first identify these 2 factors to begin with. Now, a lot of people end up in a lot of suffering because of this problem, this challenge that we have to overcome. In life, we are all, in my first talk, we came to the conclusion that everybody wants happiness and calmness. Everybody is searching for happiness and calmness. But the problem is we are searching in the wrong place for the right answer. So we will never end up with the right answer because we are looking for the right answers in the wrong places. So when we talk about happiness, then we have some kind of sadness at the moment. We have some kind of things that we need to overcome at the moment. The problem is we always think the things that gives us suffering, brings us suffering, are certain things. And we will first go through what really brings us suffering. Now, if I take an example, when we are very young, when we are small, and we hope for things and dream for things, we really want to become grown-ups. We really want to take on responsibility. We want to be responsible. We want to have challenges, and we want to have hopes and dreams and become grown-ups, basically. And then we go through an education system. Now, when we are going through before we go through the education system, when we are in the education system, we think that going to school, doing everything is extremely difficult, extremely hard. It takes a lot out. But at the same time, we are learning things, we are enjoying things as well. But it takes a lot to go through this. If there was an easy way to do it, everybody would have chosen that. So when we are learning things, we think that this is very difficult. We need to put a lot of hours into this to learn things and do things. But somehow we enjoy certain things, we overcome the hard things, and we go through the education system. And let's think that we have done our diplomas and gone to the level of PhD even. Getting PhDs and doctorates and everything. We've got that now. We've gone through the hard part. We've enjoyed certain things we regret, but we've gone through the whole mess and discovered certain things, and now we've got the PhD and the doctorate or whatever, the highest kind of education that we can get. Once we get that, now first thing was, to get that it was a suffering, to get that it was difficult. Now we have finally got that. We are all happy, everything. But then after some time we realize this PhD and doctorate or whatever education we have got does not really come into any purpose unless we do something with it. So then we start looking for work. We start looking for jobs. And then we think, now this is difficult. Because now we have got the PhD and now we have got the doctorate, but now when we go out and when we start looking for work, it's so difficult to get into a good company, to a good establishment, a secure establishment, which will give us the right wages and all the other things. So we go headhunting and do all these things to get a good job. Now that is a little bit difficult, but we enjoy certain things in it and certain things we learn from it. So let's think for an example. We got a good job. Now we have a good company. We got a good education. We got the PhD. Difficult, that was a suffering first, but then we got it. Now when we get it, we are not really satisfied with that. Now we want a good place to work for. Then we end up in a good company. We work there for 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, 5 year. When that time comes, we think that, okay, I've been doing the same thing over and over again. Now this is becoming a little bit tired. I'm putting in so much of effort. Maybe it's time that they evaluate me and give me a better position in that. So now the PhD is there, the good company is there, but that is not enough. Now the position is there, but that position is not enough. We look for something better, something more. And finally, we do end up with a better position. We do end up in a good place. When we do end up in a good position, when we do end up in a better place, Then we go first. When we get the good position, we are all happy and dandy. We like it, we enjoy it, we do it. But then, now the wages are very good, the salary is good, the money is good, but with that comes the limitation of time. Now we don't have that much of time for family, not that much of time for friends, not that much of time as I had before. Because one thing balances, but the other thing doesn't balance. Then again we are unhappy. Then again we think, I've got this, but I don't have this. Now we are fighting for time. Now we are fighting for another thing in life. So we want the education, we want the company, we want the good position and a better position from that. And also a good income for the effort that we are putting in. Honest effort that we are putting in. But at the same time, we want time as well for ourselves. So if we don't have the time, again, we get uneasy. So then we get dissatisfied from that. And then we look for something else, maybe a different company. And it goes on and on and on. So what I'm trying to say here is, the first pain, the suffering that we endured was getting a good education. But when we got that, then our desires start to change. What we desire start to change. Then according to the change that we have in the desire, we look for something more. And if we get that, when we get that, we enjoy it for some time. But then that desire changes. Then we look for something else. When that comes into fruition, we enjoy that for the time being, but then we look again at something else attracts us. Then we look. So we go on from one thing and then build up to another thing. We enjoy it for some time, but the problem is this attraction, this desire that we had towards one thing always keeps changing. It's this same type of principle is in our entire life. So if we think that suffering comes just to get the PhD, that doesn't end there. Then we get a good company, still there is suffering there. Then we get a better position, still there is suffering there. There is happiness. Don't get me wrong. There is happiness. But the only problem is this happiness only lasts for a very short time. It could be days, weeks, months, or years. And then when our attention changes, the value that we give to that changes. The desire that we had towards that thing changes, then it becomes boring. Then it becomes a suffering. Then it becomes a pain and we are looking for something else. Actually, the education system didn't have anything to do with this. The good company didn't have anything to do with this. The good position that we were at in the company didn't have anything to do with this. It is internally the way we think about it, and our desires keep changing. Because of these desires that change, our attention keeps changing. Our attraction keeps changing. Because the attraction keeps changing, we are constantly searching for happiness. Searching for happiness with all these materialistic out things. But happiness actually lies within. If we are able to identify the desires that we have, the high value that we had put on these desires, if we can evaluate that when we are meditating and ask ourselves why we have put such a high value, high price value on these desires, then it will give some answers. Because then it will reflect on lowering the desires, lowering the value that we have put on the desires, and then finally attachments that we have, the desirable attachments that we have, and then slowly understanding the fundamental truth that all desires, sensual desires that we have, keeps changing every time. It gives us pleasure, it gives us happiness for some time, and then it starts changing. Now, when that change happens, then we are not happy with it. We want more. We want something else. When we want more, when we want something else, we keep looking for something else. And if we don't get it, then we have a little bit of agitation, little bit of anger, little bit of envy, little bit of jealousy. And then this develops and develops and develops. Then this becomes full fear, actually. This becomes, why does it become fear? Will I have this? Will I achieve this? Will I be able to do this? Will I have it the way that I really want it? Will I be able to hold it? Will it sustain? Will it start disappearing? This is what we are going through. So fear is related to the desire that we had, to the hate that we have, and the delusion that we have, thinking that we can hold it for as long as we live. But the problem is, all this keeps changing, keeps changing. It's a rotation of everything. Happiness comes, and then slowly it starts deteriorating. When it starts deteriorating, we feel it. Our subconsciousness feels this. Something is not in my grasp. It's slowly going away. When we know that it's slowly falling apart, we get scared because we don't want to lose the happiness. We don't want to lose the control. We don't want to lose what we desire the most. Then we get agitated, then we get angry, then we start hating, then we have fear. So, first thing is, we think that suffering comes from outside, but actually suffering comes from within. We think that happiness comes from outside, but actually happiness is within. So another example to what I've just described, what I've just told you, discussed. Another example is in relationships, any relationship. Let's just take an example of two people meeting for the first time, and they get attracted to each other. At that time, they want to be with each other. They want to have this relationship with each other. And that is nice because why? The girl puts a high value on the boy, and the boy puts a high value on the girl. So these value systems are very high. And then they go out for one dinner, maybe a lunch or something. They go out and they try to get to know each other. And they get to know that many things are common. Oh, you like this book, you like this movie, you like doing these type of things, you enjoy doing this. These things you want to avoid, these things you don't like. Okay, likes and dislikes are mostly similar. So when that happens, what happens is they get along with each other. And when you get along with each other, what happens is you put very high values on each other. This person likes these things and does not like these things. I also don't like these things and I like these things. So we match. So that's how we make the match, putting a very high value on our feelings. But then what happens in life, this does not stay the same way. We start changing. The girl starts changing little by little, and the boy also starts changing little by little. We have different interests, different social standings, different things to do, different responsibilities, different views, different options in life. And when this starts changing, the value system starts changing. Now, the girl gets an idea, oh, something is changing a little bit. Because of this change, she also starts changing. She has different ideas about different things, about social obligations, about responsibilities, about duties, about work, everything. So this value system and this value system goes up and down. When this goes up and down, the relationship has clashes. Because that happens because of one reason. Because one person's feelings and attachments does not last as every day as the same process goes. It slowly starts changing to the good or to the worse, bad. Because of that reason, this person's value system also starts changing internally within her mind, within herself. Then certain clashes come. Sometimes we are able to resolve these clashes. Sometimes we are not able to resolve these clashes and the two split. Why? They understand that at one time our value system was the same. But after a time, this value system goes up and down. You change in your direction, I change in my direction. And the relationships that do last comes to a compromise in this system. Okay, you want to do these things, I will allow you to do these things, but not these things. The other one says, okay, I have changed in this way, and I will do these things, but not these things. And they come to a compromise. But the problem is, nobody stays the same way as they are until death. Everybody keeps changing, and because of this change, our desires keep changing. Because our desires keep changing, then there's a suffering attached to that. Because if we are to be happy continuously, we need to get what we desire continuously. The problem is our own desire keeps changing, so the happiness keeps changing. And we have pain and suffering in one end, then we have happiness in the other end. This keeps changing. So Dhamma speaks to us in a completely different way. Dhamma talks about, addresses the main point of change. To acknowledge the point of change. To be aware of the point of change. That's what we do in meditation, trying to observe the point where our feelings starts changing. We first use the breathing technique, that is true. That is to get our thoughts, concentration in one level. And then we try to analyze what changes this behavior, what type of things we get attracted to and try to hold with lust and with desire. But when we don't get that, then we start to feel anger. Then we start to feel jealousy. Then we start to fear. Then we start worrying. We have pain inside. And that imbalances our whole life sometimes. So, first thing is, we need to understand that if we have pain and suffering, the pain and suffering is caused by mainly because we are attached to certain amount of value system, certain amount of desires. When we are attracted and we get ourselves attached to this desire, the desire keeps changing. When the desire keeps changing, we have an imbalance in our thoughts. When the imbalance comes in our thoughts, we get agitated, angry, and feel helpless. So to balance it out, we need to know, first acknowledge that desires keep changing. The change brings pain. Because of the change, we have suffering. This is the basic theory why people end up becoming bitter, why people end up having a lot of jealousy. In this same situation, if I take the company situation, we have a good job, we have a good position. And when we are doing the position, and when we are in the position, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years pass by, and we think, yeah, now we have given so much to the company. Maybe we should be in a different, higher position. And when we don't get that higher position, the desire is getting this higher position. When the attraction, the value, and the desire is there for this higher position, and if we don't get the higher position, then we have a feeling inside us, not very right. Envy and fear and jealousy and hatred comes. Because of these things, we end up doing things that we usually don't do in life. Certain people start cheating, certain people start telling lies, certain people misbehave, certain people go crazy with a lot of pressure, certain people get into all these wrongdoings because of the pressure that they feel. That is because they have been lusting over, wanting, desiring something which is out of their control. And the more out of control the desire or the value is, the more they feel frustrated, the more they feel pain, the more they feel nobody's understanding me, nobody's valuing me, nobody's appreciating me. So this builds up. And then what happens? We tend to take the wrong decisions in the wrong time, and we tend to do the wrong things in life. So the first gatha, the first verse quote, talks about eradication of all wrongdoings. To get rid of the all wrongdoings, firstly we need to understand why we end up doing the wrong things. Why do we end up doing the wrong things? Because of the desire that we have inside. Because of the high value that we put to different things, because of the attraction that we have towards the other things. The attraction, desire, and attachment towards these different longing, nice positions and things, we tend to suffer. We tend to grasp and go along and try to hold it and want it for ourselves. When we keep wanting for ourselves, then what happens if we don't have it? We become miserable. We become very lonely people. We start to think that maybe nobody wants me, maybe nobody hears me, maybe nobody sees me, maybe nobody appreciates me, maybe nobody values me. And then that deep-seated suffering comes within. And then we make the wrong decisions and end up doing the wrong things. So are we clear on these things? Any questions regarding the things that I spoke about? Yeah?
Yeah.
Do you feel a connection? How this builds up? One thing leads to another, the other leads to another?
Yes, but I'm hanging on one thought.
Yes.
You say that happiness lies within and within.
Mm-hmm.
But don't you think there are few things that are outside also that are necessary for being happy?
Yeah,
And
like
that they are like basic needs.
basic needs are there.
We all share, like security of existence, like having food and not feeling so cold and all this stuff, or like being connected to people and like being, what is the word? Selbstständig sein. Being able to do things on your own, to like this ability to do things on your own. So
there are few basic things that every living being experiences. Every living being. That is, if we are born, we need to have food.
Yeah.
We need to have water. We need to have food. We need to have shelter, and we need certain amount of clothes. And we need medication. Those are the 4 basic needs that we have. Medication, medication for sicknesses, medication for sicknesses. So we can't live without food and water, basically. We can't live without shelter. We can't live without basically clothes, and we can't live without actually the medication. Those are the 4 basic necessities that everybody needs.
But this is very only about the body, but I feel like they also made experiments with babies, just get all this stuff, but they did not get like caring and loving of someone, and they also died.
Definitely. That is because they have not come to the understanding. They have why we seek for another person's attention, another person's company. Why is that? Because we feel connected to people. We are looking for connections with people. Why is that? Because we are actually scared to be by ourselves. That's why. We look for love, we look for needing, we look for wanting, we look for connections because actually deep down, I am scared to be by myself. If I have someone with me, loving me, taking care of me, being very nice to me, I feel very good. But if that is broken, then I feel very bad. So I have based my feelings on another person's value. See, I have given myself a lot of I have based my feelings, a desired value, on another person's feelings. So if this person says something really bad to me, I get upset. Why? Because I want that person's love and kindness. I want to hear loving words from that person. I have based my happiness on the other person. The moment he feels differently, he scolds me or he says something nasty, I get affected. Why is that? Because I have based my happiness through this person. I want to feel love. I want to hear the nice words. I want to feel comforted. But I have based these comforts on a different person. The moment that person changes, I get upset. But what if we take the coin the other way around, what if we are happy totally within ourselves? We do not depend on another person's love or care. That does not mean that we do not have caring, love and kindness towards another person. Yes, we give out, but we do not ask in return. We do not base all our ideas, happiness on that other person's feeling. I base my happiness within myself. I only give, not expecting something back. See, by nature, humans especially are so trained to give something and get something. We give love expecting love. But what if we can give love without expecting anything, nothing in return? Absolutely nothing, not even a kind word. What if we can do that? What if we can condition our mind to do that? We give and we let go. We do not expect back. That is the basic fundamental of being happy continuously. If we can do that, you will see that we will be continuously happy because we do not expect another person to be kind to us. We do not expect another person to forgive us. We forgive only expecting for that other person to forgive us. We help doing something thinking that, okay, I have helped this person so much. Maybe he should help me. We put that condition. He should help me. And if this person doesn't help me, I get all upset. Oh, why didn't he help me? I have done so much for this person. I just only needed one help. Why can't he do that? And then we get upset. And when that brings us sadness, if we condition our mind thinking, okay, he needs help. Okay, fine. I have some time. I will help. But I helped and that's it. That's gone. No expectation. But when we start doing that, actually, do you know what happens? There's a law which governs the entire universe. Karmic effects. Whatever we give, we receive in a karmic law, in a universal law. The problem is we do not believe in this universe law. What we believe is one person. Okay, so we think that this particular person has to help me. But if we can help one person, letting go of that help, we give it without any expectation, and when we need it the most, karmically, if we have given something, the universal law is that you will get something. Okay, but not from that same person. We might get the help from a completely different stranger. Okay. Have you come across situations like that in life? Have you come across? I have come across many situations. I have given something and I have expected something from that. But that didn't come. But a completely different person comes and says, oh, I'll help you. I'll take care of this. Don't worry about it. Don't break your head about it. There's an easy way to do this. I'll help you. A complete different stranger comes and helps. So that is the universal law. Whatever good thing that you do, some good will come in return. But same way, if you do something bad, that person may not realize that you're doing something bad to that person. And you may think that we are getting away with it. But it comes back to us even in a different lifetime.
So for you, it would not matter if you do something good for someone and the person doesn't reciprocate, and he doesn't give back, and you would ask again and you would do it again.
I would do it again.
And again.
But, and again.
And again.
Yeah, you would do it again and again. Not to the point where that person is abusing you of that. Not to that person. Knowing about the abuse and being letting yourself be abused is two different things. Okay? So if that starts happening, you say, look, wait a minute, I can do so much, and these are the things that I can do, and these are the things that I can't do. Okay?
So
you draw a line.
Where is the line for you for abuse? Because you said that you have the relationship and
yes.
You don't expect something back, you don't expect kindness back.
Yeah.
And I think that one has, this varies from person to person where they feel abuse and how much they want to give.
Yes.
So I think it's a scale, it's not.
Yeah, you decide. You have to decide within yourself. It's not the love and kindness basically. Love and kindness we can have towards anybody, even an enemy. He starts, now for an example, I am doing this discussion. Somebody doesn't like me that much. That person walks through the door and she starts shouting at me, what are you doing? You're taking my time and I should be doing this discussion. Why are you doing this discussion? It doesn't mean, just because this person is shouting at me, doesn't mean that I need to shout back at that person. You see? What I need to do is understand, be aware of that situation. This person is angry and they want something and they are reacting by shouting. The reaction, you have to understand the reaction. The reaction is anger and shouting. But it does not really matter that I react in the same way. What I have to understand is I need to try to tell this person, look, this time is booked that I have this discussion with these people. If you want to do it, you can do it in a different way. We start to explain this, okay? Mm-hmm. And then there are two things that this person can do. They can either accept it and walk out or react even in a worse situation. But if that reaction still comes in a worse situation, you try to explain or you try to detach from that. Okay, can't help it. You are angry, but this is the situation. You explain it and leave that anger to that person. You don't get involved in this anger. That's what I'm trying to tell you. The moment you get involved in this anger, you are also angry. Okay? The moment you try to justify something with anger, that is because you're holding to something with lust, with a lot of desire. What am I holding at that point with lust and desire? If I'm reacting to this person very angry, that means my lust and my desire at that point, in this example, is having discussions by myself. You see? If I lust and if I have desire towards, oh, I am the one who needs to have this discussion, this is my time, how can you come in and intervene and do all of these things, get out of the place? That is my pride. You see how anger builds? So if I don't have the pride and if I don't have the desire, I'm just only giving answer to a situation. My anger is not there. Okay, you are angry, I can see that you are angry, but unfortunately this time has been dedicated for this. If you have a problem, you better speak to the management maybe. I can say that without getting angry, without feeling jealous, without having hatred. Now this is an anger situation. In the love situation, okay, why do we get so attracted to love and care and everything? Because we put such a high value on it. Because we tend to think that if I give so much of love, if I give 100% of love, this person may give 100% of love because of the desire that we have towards the person. The problem starts if we give 100% and if this person gives 50%, then the problem starts. But if I give 100% and do not expect this person to give 100%, then I have no problem, you see. So the wanting and the needing, the moment we want and desire and we get attracted to this desire, we have the other side of this coin. The moment we are attracted to desire, the other side of the coin is we have suffering. Because the problem is this desire does not last in the same way. This desire keeps changing. I'll give you another example. Say for an example, we have, can you give me an example of something that you really like to drink in the morning? Do you like coffee? Different types of coffees? Give me 2 different names of coffees that you would try, you would like.
I drink tea only.
Tea.
Black tea and green tea.
Black tea. Okay, black tea and green tea. We will take that example, okay? Now, one person likes green tea, one person likes black tea. Now, if I really like green tea, one thing is to like green tea. And when we like, if we develop this likeness to an attachment towards the green tea, that's when we have the problem. Why is that? Now, green tea is there. This is green tea. Okay? So every morning we come and have our green tea. And we go to some country, some state that where there is no green tea. And that morning we wake up, now no green tea, okay? First day, no problem, okay, no green tea, whatever. Next day, no green tea. Third day, no green tea. 10th day, we are missing the green tea. Okay, why is that? Why do we miss the green tea? Because we have had an attachment towards the green tea. Now, this green tea, both of us like this green tea, but both of you like the black tea. Now, if we give green tea or every day, or let's take an example of coffee. We like coffee, they like tea. So if we miss out on our coffee, it's a problem for us. For them, if they miss out on the coffee, there's no problem for them. But the coffee is coffee. Okay? For you, if you miss out on the tea, say this is a tea, okay? Now this is the tea that you're going to have every day. But this has been taken away and coffee has been put. Now if you're going to have, when you like tea, if you're going to have coffee every day, then you don't like it. Why is that? Because you have developed an attachment towards the tea. The tea is the tea. Even if you drink, it's tea. Even if I drink, it's tea. The tea is tea. But in our mind, we have created an attachment towards coffee, an attachment towards tea. So tea or coffee, it's an external thing. But the internal thing is created in our mind. The attachment is created in our mind. For if a person is there, like an arhat, okay, who does not have the attachments, he is completely free of attachments, then he would take coffee as coffee and tea as tea. You see?
You would drink both.
You would drink both.
Oh.
There is no difference. Say for an example, now what happens if this situation comes up? There is a glass of tea, a cup of tea and a cup of coffee. Now both of us like coffee, okay? A person comes here, he sees the tea and the coffee. There's only 2 cups here. This person takes a coffee and go, and when we are left with the tea, what will happen to us? Say, oh my God, I can't believe he knew that we liked coffee and this person takes a coffee and go. Now we have a resentment building us. An arhat would think, this is the way that they think, they would think that, okay, this person took the coffee but I'm still left with the tea. Why is that? Because that person has eradicated the attachment, the desirable attachment towards the coffee. You understand? So basic necessity is having a drink. Everybody needs the drink. Drink is there, but we put a desire on top of the drink saying that I like only coffee, I like only tea, I like only blue color, I like only frocks, I like only this, I like only pizza, I like only this. We have certain brands, we have certain things. This is me. I like this type of brand, this type of perfume, this type of relationship, this type of house. That is me. We define ourselves with these attachments. You understand? So whenever we feel attracted to something, attraction The desirable attraction keeps changing, that's the problem. Now, if we are being served with one particular cappuccino every day, every day, every day, are we going to like it? After some time, morning we get cappuccino, afternoon we get cappuccino, evening we get cappuccino, night we get cappuccino. Then cappuccino is a little bit too much. Maybe we would like to taste the green tea a little bit and see how that feels. See, our desires change. When the desires change and when we are attracted to the next desire and the next desire and the next desire, that's when pain and suffering starts to come in, build up.
The funny thing is, people like to specify on things.
Yes.
And we are interested, like, what do you like the most, drinking coffee or tea, and what is your favorite color, and which country you would live if you can choose like this.
Yes.
People are very interested in
That is,
like being someone, a person with interests, and
that is the problem, because those interests build to values. It builds into a value system. First we can live in Germany, and if we first we can live in Sri Lanka. Then we think maybe if we have a better social security system in a different, better country, maybe we can move there. Then we are in that social security and in that country and in that job and whatever. Then that is not enough. Then maybe we go to a different country, even a better place. So this keeps changing. This keeps changing. And because of this change, the suffering also starts keep growing in us. Yes.
Well, the amount is pretty important. You had the example with always cappuccino.
Yeah.
You drink cappuccino all the time. So I think that the amount is pretty important, that you
Yes.
don't do too much.
Yes, exactly. That is also very important. What if we are happy with some basic things we need? Anyway, food, drink, water, shelter, clothes and medication. We need that. And if we don't have very high expectations, then we learn to live with what we get. The thing is, we learn to live, we learn to appreciate, we learn to be happy, even if we have less or if we have more. Sometimes, a lot of people think if we don't have very luxurious things, then we are on the right path. Not so. It's in our mind we look for the luxurious things. Okay? Some people say when you start meditating, or you have to be in a small house, in a small room with little basic things, and then you will find the answer to all your problems. Not so. Why is that? Because we might live in a small room and we might have little things, but in our mind we are craving, we are wanting for the luxurious things. So if one is living like that and craves for the luxurious things, in your mind you're actually not happy. But if you are, even if you are living luxuriously, but you think that yes, these things are there, I will make use of it for the time, but even if it's not there, it's there, I will have my peace. That is a person who is really at peace. You see? So even if you get luxurious things, or if you have very basic things, if you have one mind to control this, the high point and the low point, you don't go to one extreme or the other extreme, and you're in the middle path. This is what Lord Buddha tried to say.
But that's the intuition that you would have or develop.
Yes.
And it's not dependent on the actual choice.
Yes.
If you drink coffee or tea.
Yes. But the attachment, you break the attachment towards the coffee and towards the tea. When you break the lustful attachment towards the coffee and towards the tea, then whatever you get, you will be happy with.
I mean, the thing is, personally, I'm flexible.
Yeah.
So if I go to another country, for example, I went to Thailand and there they have no cheese. And I really like cheese. But I still managed to eat curry.
Exactly.
And had this for breakfast all the time.
Yeah.
And I got used to it and I tasted it in a completely different way. So even if I have this attachment to
Yes.
cheese, I'm still flexible as a person to enjoy and eat something else and grow into that.
Exactly.
So,
yes, true. Because you learn to detach yourself from the craving from the cheese. If the cheese is there, you will have it. But if the cheese is not there, that is also fine. See, that is the mentality that we have to get into. Okay? And in the same way, now let's say from Thailand, you came into France, okay, where there is so much of cheese. Different types of cheese, I'm being told. I don't know because I haven't been to France, but I'm being told that there are so many different kinds of cheese. So if you're in France and you can have a variety of 200 different types of cheese, still it's your greed, it's your craving which will want all of it. But if you can say, okay, I am being given this, I will have it, and that's it, then you're not wanting it over and over again. Because what we are trying to eradicate, get rid of, is not really, it's only the greed, it's only the lust, it's only the hate, it's only the delusion. Just remember that. We are not trying to take the taste away, because taste we will have. Even if you are arahat, you will have. You will be able to taste. If it's too salty, you will be able to taste. If it's too sweet, you will be able to taste. If it's too bitter, you will have the taste. But only thing is, you're not attached. You're not desiring the bitterness. You're not desiring the sweetness. You're not having any desire towards these things. Okay?
So it's not the problem that I like this more than this, but this craving.
The craving. This more than this, the craving on and on and on. The craving part. Now, actually,
it's making suffering, say.
Yeah, that the craving part is the one which brings the suffering. For an example, do you know that we actually in our entire life, when we look at our entire life, we think that we're doing so many things, but actually we are only doing 6 things in our entire life. Okay? What are these 6 things? Only 6 things that we do. It comes down to only 6 things. Let me put it that way. We have the eye and we see an object. Okay, this flower vase. So the object is there, eye is there, and the object is there. Through this visual contact, we are able to see. The visual consciousness comes in and we are able to see the colors and we define this thing and okay, that's there. But then what happens is, the visual consciousness is there and then we put 3 different types of laminations. That is the problem. What are the 3 laminations? Either we have desire for this bunch of flowers, or we think, I don't like these flowers. Why have they put the flowers? No. Hate for the flowers. And delusion that we have towards the flowers, thinking that I have put this, it has to be there. Me and my and I want. The delusion which comes in with the flowers. So, seeing the flower is one thing, knowing that the flowers are there is one thing, but having a desire which is raga, dvesha, moha. Desire that we have, and dvesha means the hateful feelings, the thoughts that we have. Moha means the delusion that we have. We put these 3 laminations. That's what is going to get us in trouble one day. Then we have the ear and the sound, the noise and the sound. Ear is there, the sound is there. And when we have the contact of these two, the consciousness of the sound arises, and when we can hear. If we hear something, there's no problem in hearing. It might be a very melodious hearing, or it might be a very, very rough hearing. Rough things are also there. Calm and nice quietness and beautiful music, that is also there. We take this sound and we interpret it. Oh, I love this sound. I love this music. I love this song. The sound, we laminate it with something else. You see? We laminate it with something called raga, which is desire. Or we think, oh, I don't like this sound. I don't like this. I hate this sound. I hate this sound. We laminate it with dvesha, which is hate. The interconnection between this is delusion. Yes?
So you think enjoying seeing the flowers or enjoying listening to a song, even if it's the first time, it's not good?
And enjoying is one thing, craving is another thing.
Okay.
A nice sound is there, okay, listening to, this is a good music. That is one thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I want to listen to this music and this music, and somebody comes and turns it off. Then what happens? Why did you turn it off? No, I don't like the hard rock music. I only like the melodious ones. Now that is craving for sound.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you see how that takes place?
Mm-hmm.
So noise and sound is there. Craving for sound is the one we have to eradicate. Just as, yes. No problem. You can ask.
We say that we interpret these laminations,
Yes.
but like there are sounds that really hurt, like it's very loud or it's very high tuned.
Yeah.
So
That nobody will be able to bear.
yeah.
That nobody will be able to bear.
So you're not saying that everything is an interpretation, but just some things.
Some things,
Mm-hmm.
some things. Because everything in life does not bring us suffering. If we get attached to it and if we desire for something, that brings us suffering.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Two different things. Seeing a flower, acknowledging that, this is a nice looking vase, is one thing. But craving for this is a different thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Just like that. You have the smell. Say, what are the nice perfumes that you have in Germany?
I don't like perfume.
Okay. Any perfumes, any high names that we can think of?
Chanel number 5.
Chanel number 5 is there, okay? So Chanel number 5, now I'm been given a Chanel number 5 to use, and I put it all over the place, and goes on very nice and dandy and looking very nice and smelling very nice actually. And then one little child comes and he dashes the perfume. Then what happens? My Chanel number 5 is gone. And now I have developed a craving and a longing towards this Chanel number 5. And then that person comes and takes it away, destroys it. What have you done with it? See, because of the Chanel number 5, I have lust at one time, and then I have hate at one time. That is what we need to get off. But Chanel number 5 being there and me using is no problem, as long as you don't have the craving. If somebody says, suddenly Peggy walks into my little kuti and says, oh, Chanel number 5, I really like it, and takes it away and go, okay, Peggy, you can have it. That's a different thing. That is not craving, okay? Same with taste. Tissa cooks us a beautiful, lovely dinner which smells great and tastes great as well. As now, all of you have tasted this dinner, and all of you come and says, oh, he has done a beautiful dinner, it tastes very good. I come there, as soon as I come, the last bit of things somebody is taking away and going, and no great dinner for me. I am hungry, I need food, but I don't crave for that specific taste. You understand? Just like our coffee. Just like the example with our coffee. So he did this polos thing yesterday. So if we are craving for the polos, jackfruit, yeah, thanks, jackfruit, that means the taste is one thing, but craving for the taste is a completely different thing. Acknowledging the taste as taste is one thing, but craving for that taste, the particular taste, is a completely different thing. So what we are trying to get rid of, get away from, is the craving part for taste. Likewise, touch and feel and warmth. A lot of people get attracted to this, desire for this, lust for this, long for this. As long as we have the warmth, the contact, even a little baby, when we carry the little baby and we put it in our back and pet it, because of the comforting feeling, that is one thing. But when we keep it back, it starts crying. Why? Because craving for the hug, craving for the warmth, craving for the love and kindness. Love and kindness is one thing, craving for love and kindness is a different thing. Craving for touch, the body and touch is one thing, acknowledging the touch is one thing, but craving for the touch is a completely different thing. So what we are trying to take off is the craving part. Then the biggest thing, how does our mind work? How does our mind work? Now, we have the eye and the object is there. If we didn't have thought process, we can't gather the information. The ear is there, the sound is there. If we didn't have the thought process going in our mind, we can't make the connection. We have the smell outside and our nose. If we didn't have the thought process from our mind, then we can't make any connections. We have the tongue and the taste. The thought process does not happen, then we don't have anything. We have the body and touch, and the intervene thought process doesn't happen, then we can't feel it. It's like when a person is in coma. Okay, have you heard this? A person being in the hospital in a coma, that person is living and breathing, but no reactions. Why? The mind is shut off at that time. The thoughts are shut off. Living, breathing, food is being intaken, but he can't speak. He can't say his thoughts. He can't speak out. Why? The thought process is shut down. So the most important collaboration, coordination in all of this is the thought process. So 6 things that we actually do. Eye and sight, the visual object and sight is created. The ear and the sound and the consciousness of the sound is created. The nose and the smell and the consciousness regarding the smell is created. The tongue and the taste, consciousness of the taste is created. Body and touch and the consciousness of the touch is created. Mind and thoughts and consciousness of the thoughts are created. These are the 6 things that we do in our entire lifetime. But the problem is that we have desire towards this, attraction towards desires. Then when we don't have what we want, we get angry and we start to have hate and jealousy and envy. This is one problem. That is because of the delusion that we have in our mind, thinking that we can have all what we want to have whenever we want to have, and it will stay without changing for as long as we want. That is the delusion we have in our mind. So, through meditation, what we are trying to get rid of is this desire towards the attraction, towards the thing that we keep wanting. The craving part is the one we are trying to identify through meditation. Okay? First through breathing, to get our mind centered, thoughts centered, and then we are trying to look at what actually are we getting attracted to. Why are we having fear? Why are we hating certain people? What don't we like to do? Why don't we like to do it? What suffering we have inside? What's the pain which is created inside? Why do we have the pain? Why do we long for something? We are trying to identify that through meditation. Because meditation is directly connected to thoughts and mind. All these things function with the mind. Okay? So, yeah.
Yesterday you said that the most important thing is to bring meditation into daily life.
Yes.
So I had a pretty nice experience yesterday. I wanted to do something, and then I asked myself what I'm searching for here. Not like I'm not looking for an object, but what do I expect to get out of that action?
Exactly.
And that was a really, really nice realization to ask why. Let's call it a habit. What am I looking for in that habit?
Exactly. What are you looking for in that habit?
Yeah.
That is vipassana. Actually, what we are doing is we're trying to train you towards vipassana. First by concentration, and then slowly by, you have the working meditation. When we do the working meditation, we clean things and we do things. That is a training to be able to identify what you really want in life. Of course, we need to do the dishes, we need to clean the place, we need to cook, and we need to eat. These are basic necessities in life. But when you get out of the basic necessities, we find ourselves getting slowly attracted to different things. Yes, when we are doing the dishes, we think, yeah, we can have this dish, or we can have something a little bit with finer porcelain. Like the number 5 what is it? Chanel perfume. We can have the basic perfume is also a perfume, but the number 5 Chanel is a better perfume. It's like having a Toyota car or a Honda or a Civic or something and wanting a Mercedes. And from Mercedes we want a Benz Mercedes, we want a BMW. It's like, but what we want is get from one place to the other place. That's transport. That's what we need. Okay, we can choose to have a car for that. And a car which is working in good condition is a basic necessity. But having the BMW, wanting the BMW, craving for the BMW is a different thing. You understand? So, through meditation, what we try to do is try to identify what am I really craving for, what am I really wanting out of this thing. Okay? Just to have your realization within you. And if I really go on this, what am I really going for? Should I take away or should I want it? You make the decision, because decisions are very important in life. Okay. So this is the first thing about Sabba Papassa Akaranam. Sabba means all, everything. Papassa means all wrongdoing. Akaranam is eradication, letting go, being away from all wrongdoings. Sabba Papassa Akaranam. So, next talk, we will discuss on Kusalasa Upasampada. What Kusalasa Upasampada means. Okay? Okay.
Okay. Thanks.
Thank you for your attention. I had a great time delivering this talk to you and hope little by little things we take to our life, the journey of our life. Okay. Yeah. Okay. We can have some tea.
Also growing now. John has now come.
Yes,
So,
John is here as well. Yeah.
so,
And I think you will like the next talk as well. It gets a little bit deeper. Slowly, baby steps into big steps.
okay.
Okay.
Thanks. Yes, and the bow tree has left the building.
Oh, that's good. It's been taken care of.
Everything. So we'll have whoever wants some tea or something, like half an hour till.
Yeah, half an hour, and we'll start at
11. Yeah, at
in
11 we meet in the Oval Office in front of the
Oval Office.
library. Also vor der Bibliothek dann in Oval Office.
Okay.
Was heißt Sucht auf Englisch?
Addiction.
Ach ja, okay.
Addicted.
Weil ich dachte mal, Craving, das passt zu diesem Addiction.
Ja, passt es. Das ist so ein ganz extremes
Wie so eine-
Verlangen.
Ja.
Verlangen, Sehnsucht, Verlangen.
Sucht, ja genau.
Passt auch. Es geht zusammen. Ja.
Does the Oval Office have a clock?
Ja. Ab, ja. In a large one.
Okay.
And Tissa is back cooking and reconsidering the funeral attendance, so we'll see. Ja, John, hattest gutes Timing. Ist gerade mit in das letzte mit reingekommen damit. Sie macht eine Präsentation jetzt in der Bibliothek in dem Vorraum.